All right, we are live. We're going to do another archery live today, but we're going to use the other bow. We were out live on Monday with compound bow doing some long range shooting, longer than I've ever done, and we did real well. But today we're going to give the recurve some love. Got some cool stuff to show you in that regard, just some cool stuff to generally talk about. And yeah, we're going to have fun. I'm going to get the bow set up as people roll in here. We got bow stringer right here. Let me do this. There we go. Howdy from middle of Law. Where's Law? I'm thinking about where you guys would be. That's my uncle just popping in. They are driving back to Colorado, so that's a heck of a drive. Kansas? You're in Kansas already? Goodness. Is that true? Or am I misinterpreting both chats? I don't know. Got the bow here for anyone not familiar, which is everyone except for people like my uncle who have seen me in person since the squirrel hunt. As many of you know, I had a successful squirrel hunt. You'll be seeing videos from the actual hunting process, using the meat, and as well as making some things with the squirrel hide, including we now have some recurve silencers. We got one there, we got one here. They look awesome, made with the squirrel tail that I hunted myself, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, we're gonna shoot the recurve today. Another reason why we might get the compound out and shoot a couple shots just to show you, but if you guys watch my Monday live, you know I pumped the or bumped the poundage on the compound up to 70 pounds, and you know, I didn't think it would make that much of a difference, but it definitely kicks a little bit harder. This target is old and it's started to blow holes through it. 65 pounds was just barely staying in the target, and these 70-pound shots are just blowing right through it. So we're gonna possibly have to purchase a new target. I really like this target. I've used it since like April, with both compound and recurve, and it's lasted this long, and it's like 30 bucks, so I'm just gonna get another one of those. But yeah, compound shooting, not gonna do a bunch today because I keep blowing holes through the middle of my target, because that extra 5 pounds apparently did a whole bunch in terms of its penetration power on this target. It is an old target. It's not like the target suddenly becomes useless. It's just it's old, and that little bump up is all it needed to become problematic for me. Let me reconnect the chat here. Bear with me for about 1 second. All right, I'm back. As you can see, I cut off some of it, but that is some of our stuff from yesterday, just pieces of the target blown through the back of it. So we're gonna put it down at 10 yards, and we're gonna start with the recurve at 10 yards. Get our glove on and start to do a little bit of shooting. Got 18 people in here, 4 thumbs up. Someone give me some chats here. I love talking with you guys, especially if you're new. Raptor Will's in. Awesome member. Raptor Will, check this out. I think you're a member, so you probably saw it. These are silencers for the recurve bow that I made with the squirrel tail from that squirrel I hunted. You've seen the sneak peek, I imagine, because you are a Voyager member, so you have access to that footage early. As you can see, I'll flip my hat around just so I don't have to deal with that. As you can see, the noise on this bow is just non-existent now that I made these silencers, so that's pretty cool. Herbert, how's it going? Blessings to me, Leptin. My name is Nolan. If you mistook it for leptin, that's all good. If that's a different word, then let me know what that means. I was wondering what you meant by silencer for the recurve bow. Yes. So these take out a lot of the string vibration after the shot and make it a little bit quieter. There's a bunch of squirrels sitting around here. One of the things I eventually want to do is go squirrel hunting with the bow. So it'd be really cool if eventually I could go hunting with the recurve bow and take out a squirrel using some squirrel tail silencers. It just shows the full cycle of things of how stuff works. Is that a bear bow? This is an old Stemler archery made in the 1960s, late 1960s. It is the Tartar. It was given to me by my grandfather. It's an old bow. It shoots okay. It's not the best thing ever, but it shoots good enough, and I will shoot it for quite a while. I've been shooting it for quite a while. Just, you know, getting use out of the things that he's given me is super, super cool, and it'll be something that I cherish for a very long time, given that it was his. Hi from India. That's awesome. Years ago, my cousin got a pheasant out of the air with a bow. It was awesome. That is pretty cool. Buffalo, New York. Buck running away. Not quite. I have seen a couple bucks back here while practicing archery, but, you know, never any that I was going to try and take. I'm going to do some hunting with my compound bow next year. All right, here we go. I just missed, and I knew that was going to miss because I was aiming for 20 yards, my 20-yard spot, even though it's 10 yards. That's a dummy move. I realized that as I let the shot go. I said, wait, that's not the right spot to aim. Dropped a like, working and lurking. Thanks, Nancy. Where are you from? I am from Pennsylvania. Are we got to dial in today? Hopefully you guys can see me. I'm going to back the camera up and make sure you guys get a good view. Can you see the target? Yeah, you should be able to see this good. Can't wait till February meetup. Invited. Camping with Champion? Yeah. Hopefully Randy and David can help encourage him to join us. Yep. Yeah. I met him at the meetup in... when was that? Is that May? I think it's May. Yeah. Yeah, he was a nice guy. Thanks, Chris. Laughing Disco. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I have my class schedule, so I have confirmed I can go, and I did get the funds that Randy gathered together from anyone who was willing to help. So yet again, if anyone who's in chat right now was involved in that, I'm highly appreciative. But yeah, we are gonna take a look at flights this week and try and book one soon. Patching again, Ricky, huh? I don't know what that means. The real Pekka, I think I said that right, sent clapping seal. You guys are sending all sorts of fun, weird emojis. Meetup was May. Yeah, I thought that's right. Yeah, taking a squirrel with the bow. Hunting used to be quiet. We're not hunting, we're practicing today. Hunting is quiet. I just did some hunting recently. I was pretty quiet. Anyone who watched any members who got to watch, Raptor Wilson here, he saw it. He got to watch the footage of that. I was pretty darn quiet during that. Poaching is illegal. I already told your parents, Ricky. My name's not Ricky. I'm not poaching. I'm not even shooting at animals today. So go ahead and knock yourself out. have fun. Going to be at the Skeeterville meetup next April, assuming nothing comes up on my schedule. I'm planning on it. He did a live when he reached 20,000 subs. Steve Wallace dropped in and super chatted him $400. Wait. Camping, is that Camping with Champion you're referring to, Herbert? Obviously, I get that. Yeah. Jesus did die for me, that is true. Dead middled that one. As you heard, it didn't make much of a sound hitting the target because the DNR will be notified. Yeah, you're funny. Didn't make much of a sound because the center of that target's getting pretty soft. That's where I blew through arrows on my compound yesterday. So, just to the right of that other arrow from 10 yards. It is weird because compound and recurve, you can shoot. There are people who can shoot recurve accurately pretty far, but you know, they're just different beasts. I'm over here grouping similarly to what I was grouping from 60 yards with my compound, and we're at 10 yards with the recurve. So it's just a different beast, man. Jesus loves you, repent. I agree, I'm a Christian. I always love to tell people this. Just remember, there's nothing wrong with coming in here and saying words in a live chat, but it's not going to mean a whole bunch to people unless you back that up with your life and your actions. You know, the Bible says that we'll be known by our love we have for one another, and you can't really show that if you just come in here, say words, and leave. So keep that in mind as you're trying to make an impact. All right, got to read some chats here. DNR will be notified. Yep, that's funny. Look like the guy from Where Are the Millers. Never seen that before. Matt says on his compound. On what compound? I have a compound bow, but yes, I do shoot that as well. I shot that on Monday on a live. Charles says hi. Jacob says hi. Once a bowman, always a bowman. Yeah, I love bows in general. I love the simplicity of this one. Like, I made these squirrel tail silencers with a squirrel I hunted earlier, a couple weeks ago now, probably 2 weeks ago. And like, that's super cool, and the simplicity of it, that's super fun. But I'm also a mechanical engineering major, and you know, compound just gives you a whole bunch of other possibilities, fun stuff to play with, because I love mechanical stuff and analyzing that stuff and learning how to refine it. That's something that's cool to me. So I like both of them. There's a lot of arguments about like, oh, this and all that, or this one's not ethical to hunt with, or the other one isn't real hunting, all these different things. I like both of them. So, do I kill anything? I do hunt. I hunted a squirrel. That's how I made these silencers, actually. But yeah, we're planning on deer hunting with my compound bow next year. That's a big pursuit for next year. Shoot a crossbow. I spent a lot of money on a good compound. I really like that. Crossbow is cool, and if I got the opportunity to shoot one, I totally would. But I'm probably not going to spend a whole bunch of money on one because they're not cheap, and I really like my compound. So, nothing against them, but probably not something I'm going to spend money on. How often do I tinker with things? On the bow or just generally? That's Raptor Will, awesome member to the channel, asking. Middled that one. That's a decent group from 10 yards. Thank you for handling the weapons right. I try. They're tools. They can be fun. You can use them, but if you're not practicing safety, then it's not something you should be doing. I'm going to do a lot of talking when I do the squirrel hunting video about the hunter safety stuff that I had to do to take that. You'll see, for people, Raptor Will can speak to it, a member who's seen the video, I actually verbally relay every safety piece I'm doing to empty the mag, empty the chamber of my firearm, put the safety on before I go retrieve the animal when I'm hunting it. Raptor Will's already seen that footage as a sneak peek for members, but yeah, I verbally confirm these are the things I'm doing. I really want to make it obvious that safety is important when I do those things. Because if you're not being safe, people can get hurt, people can get the wrong ideas, all sorts of stuff. So, oh dear, that's a good one for the topic. All right, let's go show you this grouping. This wasn't bad from 10 yards. So here's what we're looking like. As you see, they're kind of all generally grouped around the middle, within 3 or 4 inches from the middle. 2 are in the center dot, 1's right above, 2 are just right. So yeah, we are gonna back it up to 20 yards maybe and give it another shot. Generally, how often do I generally tinker with things? Pretty much every day I'm tinkering with something. I was doing some woodworking stuff yesterday, and I was messing with I fixed some of the fletchings on my compound arrows that have been out of commission, because I only have 5 that are good because I keep tearing fletchings off and stuff. So I was fixing fletchings yesterday, and the day before that I was obviously getting things dialed in with my new drop away rest. Recently I'm working on a woodworking project right now. Not going to be on the channel, but implications of that project will end up being on the channel. I made these recently. Like, I make stuff, tinker with stuff all the time. All right, let's move this target back to 20 yards and try that. If you guys were in here the last time I shot my recurve bow, I had some nerve damage on this hand that kept me from shooting for a couple weeks. And I just have been really dialing stuff in with the compound lately. So not that this bow's gotten neglected, but I haven't shot it as much. So I'm a little bit rusty on the compound. Or on the recurve. We're just gonna continually try and get back in the zone. Might miss a couple shots out at 20. I used to be pretty darn good with the recurve out to probably 25 yards. Those videos are up on the channel, but hey, when you don't do things, you don't retain the skill. But luckily, it's always easier to get back to a level of skill than it was to get there to start, unless you have some like sort of physical ailment that came upon you in the meantime. But I don't. It's just I haven't shot it for a little bit, so we're trying to get back in the zone with the recurve. One of the things that I think is going to kind of inspire me to continue shooting my recurve more consistently over the next couple months is the fact that I made these silencers, and anytime I shoot it on live, it gives me a chance to show off my work. I'm very proud of them. I really like how they're performing, how they look, so that's pretty sweet. How is that nerve damage? Did it get worked out 100%? It absolutely did. If you watch the short, which Herbert's a consistent watcher of the channel, I'm sure he's probably seen it. My mom's a physical therapist, so she showed me this thing. I told her like the day it happened, I'm like, I can't feel my fingers. She seemed like the right person to ask. She showed me something to help out with that. I did it consistently, listened to her advice, and I'm all good. It took me 10 days. I got full feeling back in my fingers, but I couldn't feel anything for a little bit, so that was weird. Yamamito says, I'm from Myanmar. That's pretty cool. PPABN7QS, that's a heck of a name, says hi. Thermo Strand Romper So Never 111 says hi. You guys got awesome names today. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. You guys are nuts. You're doing great for the time you've been shooting. Well, thank you. I'm from Ireland. Well, hello. You gonna get a longbow? I don't know. I think whenever the next bow purchase, like actual bow I'm gonna get, is eventually I'm going to retire this bow, because my grandfather's not going to be here forever, and this is something I don't want it to get damaged. I don't want to have anything happen to this bow. This was his, and yeah, I just really, this is something that will eventually get hung up on my wall, something that I'll keep to remember him by. And this is really what got me into archery, this bow, and him giving me this bow. So like, that's something really big, and eventually I'm going to retire this bow and go get a takedown. So I've been doing some research on which takedown I want to get. I might do something fancy, like get an international limb fitting, ILF. I think that's what that acronym stands for. Could have butchered it a little bit, but I might just get a riser and then pick out limbs later, all sorts of stuff that I have the potential to do. But a like medium priced between $150 and $250 recurve, and then retire this because I don't want anything to ever happen to this bow. So compound bow is what you need. I have one. I shot it on Monday out to 70 yards. I was shooting with the compound bow, grouping pretty good. We have a couple people in here right now who were in here when I was doing that. Someone talking about firearms. These silencers I made with a squirrel that I got while firearm hunting, so I have done some of that as well. But you're not allowed to do that on live because of safety implications. And, you know, even when I do it on long form stuff, it's going to be something that I take a lot of time to make sure people understand the safety procedures you go through. So, yeah. Yeah, good reason. Yeah, my grandfather gave me this compound, or this recurve bow, and that's how I got into my whole archery journey. Did recurve for a while, got a compound, all the stuff. That's how I got into it, and I don't really want anything to ever happen to this bow. So, black hunter takedown, yeah, all sorts of stuff. So woodsman, my idea, I know I mentioned that I might have a gift for you soon. Okay, so we just went right over the top. My new grouping there, because I did move my knocking point probably a little bit higher than the old one. Let's lay it a little bit lower. But my gift idea that I might bring to our February meetup is if I go back out squirrel hunting, I might make another set of these and bring them for you if you're interested, because I know you shoot your recurve. So some Mission Discover homemade squirrel tail silencers might be coming your way. You never know. Even though I don't hunt, when I'm out fishing or just doing things, I make safety my number one priority. Absolutely. Can I get a shout out, please? I spend so long editing and don't get any subs. Yeah, if someone in the channel, one of my mods or something like that, wants to go check out Rahili, sorry if I messed that up, 2214, and let everyone know what they're about on the channel, that'd be sweet. If you vibe with the channel, then feel free to stick around, and we'll become more close community members, and then that's kind of where I shout you out when you get to be part of the community. All right, here we go. Middled that one. That was good. Yeah, so I'm planning on next time I go out squirrel hunting, which will probably be over winter break. I might do it once or twice over winter break. I'm planning on making a backup set of silencers for me, so when these wear out, I've got another set ready to roll. I don't have to go out and find another squirrel. But yeah, and then if I get a third squirrel, I will make a set for good old Woodsman. Woodsman's been a big supporter throughout my entire archery journey. Always on the archery lives, giving me some tips, giving me some encouragement. So, be something cool to give back to him. What does your arrow run on? You mean like what's it resting on? This is actually a super old style. A lot of them just run on the shelf here now, but this one's got a little raised up piece there. What does it slide on? Yeah, that piece right there. Do you hunt with it? No, I don't typically hunt with this bow, but I am planning on hunting with my compound bow for deer next year. I might end up hunting squirrels with this eventually, but that'll be a heck of a pursuit. Get some, what are they called? Judo points, that's what it's called. Get some judo points and see if I can get a squirrel with a bow. That'd be a cool adventure. Make it a little bit harder. There you go. What's cool? The silencers or the slide up here. This actually isn't as ideal as you might think it is, but the silencers, I made these, so I think they're cool. Oh yeah, the silencers. How did I attach them? Actually, so if you can see here, anybody who isn't aware, the bow strings are made up of a number of different strands that are woven together. So if you take the tension out of the bow, you can separate them, slide a piece of the tail in one end, wrap, which as you can see it's spiraled here, that's what I did, wrap, and then attach the other end of the tail down into the string. On the other side, put tension in it, and then they stay in place. And because these things are like organic material and they kind of have memory to them, once you get them in there for a week or two, they don't really want to uncoil, so you can de-string it and these things will stay in place. So that's pretty cool. Do I go hunting? Yeah, I'm working on my hunting journey, progressing up through things. I've done squirrel hunting. That's how I got the material to make these silencers. with a firearm. We're going to do some archery bow hunting next year, all sorts of stuff. I've got one I need to attach, but wasn't sure how to do it. Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, no problem. That's why I'm here. Trying to help out, trying to make a cool community where we can all learn and experience stuff together. What do you hunt for? So far, only thing I've hunted is squirrels, but we're going to take my compound bow out next year for deer. We're prepping for that, getting the spot ready. Going to get some trail cameras out there, learn that whole process as well. So Will's heading out. Got to get ready for a shift. I feel that. My sister friend hunting, but I'm going to hunt with him. Sweet. Squirrel with a 70 pounds bow. How far out do you have to search if you miss? Yeah, so that's why the judo points, I found out that they exist, and that's pretty cool. And if I do it, I'm not sure if I'd hunt with the compound or this. I might just practice up with this and take 10 to 20 yard shots at squirrels on the ground with judo points. Judo points are cool. They're almost like a field point, but they have little like arms on the side that catch the grass, and they stand the arrow up. So it stops them when they hit the ground. They don't go underneath the ground, and they stand up. And I'm looking into getting some of those so I can eventually do small game hunting with the bow. I think that'd be something really fun. It'd be hard, but hey, that's a good challenge. What grain arrows would you recommend? For compound, for recurve, and what type of draw length and draw weight are you looking at? Give me that and I can give you a guesstimate. And tell you where to look for an exact number, because they've got charts for that sort of thing. There is a deer behind you now. Well, I'm sure somewhere way out in the world over there behind my back there is, but none in the foreseeable area or the near area. Recurve 55 pounds. I'm thinking probably like a 400 spine. And then as far as grains, probably, I mean, go as light as you can. I believe the technical spec is 5 grains per, or 50 grains per pound of draw weight. Is that right? Or no. It is 5 grains. Yeah, 5 grains per pound of draw weight, I think is the minimum you're supposed to go. So if you have a 70-pound bow, you really shouldn't go lighter than 350, but that shouldn't really be an issue. Most arrows are over 300, and that should be all you need for a 55-pound bow. All right. Middled that. Thank you again. Yeah, no problem. There's charts out there too, so you can look at it depending on your draw length and your draw weight. It really your draw length only matters when you start to get into super long arrows, because obviously, like, think about a super long stick versus a short one. The short one doesn't really bend, the long one does. So you want a stiffer arrow the longer arrows you have, but if you're like a normal draw length person, it's really all about poundage. So like I have a 27-inch draw, and my arrow selection as far as spine and that sort of stuff is only based upon poundage. So I shoot a 340 spine on my 70-pound compound bow, and these are 500 spine on the 40-pound recurve bow. So yeah, jacket from Costco, indeed. Miller Eve Snape says hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. I have a 29-inch draw, says Herbert. Yeah, I have generally short arms. I was talking to my sister about this. Like, you know how certain people, they can put their hand down and reach their knee? My knee is down here. So like, I don't know if it's just my arms are short or my knees are further down. I don't know, but my fingers, when I put them down to my side, are probably 6.5 inches above my knee. So I think I just have short arms for my height. I'm 5'9", and I only have a 27-inch draw, which apparently is unusual according to all the people at bow shops I've talked to, but whatever. I've had nowhere to find these answers. Great to learn. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Hey, I found these answers out from other people, but if I can just push that out to you and help you out, then that's all I'm here for. Same, 29 inches, I'm 5'10". Yeah, I'm 27 inches and I'm 5'9". So I don't know why I'm so short on my draw length, but I am. It just kind of is what it is. Weston says hi. Is it still grippy? Is what still grippy? This is just to protect my fingers. What wax do you use for your string? I think it's in this bag. I don't know what it is, but I think I have it here, so I can show you. Fizzle says I'm ready when you are. Yeah, there's a balance between actually shooting and talking to people. I use this wax. E-Long Outdoors string wax. That one. It's cheap and it works, so. Are you a bow hunter or just sport? I am working my way up to doing some deer next year. I could do it now, but I'm not totally ready on the whole hunting process. I'm a good enough shot for sure, but we got to get some tree stands set up, get some other systems put in place for the actual hunting aspect. But we're gonna go bow hunting for deer next year, possibly some squirrels with this guy as well. Fun stuff. Brilliant. I got a free one with the bow. Wasn't great. There you go. How do you find fish in the creeks? I actually, my very first video I ever put up on the channel is, it's like 3 years old now, was about that exact topic. So go search it up. It's old. It's not my best work because it's older, but all the information, dead accurate. Just the video production, possibly not quite as good. All right. A deer stand, 10-4, yeah. I think I might get one more stand, but I believe the current plan is to hunt on my pastor's property. He has 2 put up there now. So I'm going to assess where those are, what I think about those, possibly put up one more, get a trail cam out there to look at some spots, get some more systems put in place, make sure I'm, you know, A-okay with field dressing like I learned about it in my hunter safety program. But there's a difference between doing it and really knowing it and actually just kind of being like, yeah, I know how to do that. So, all right. How much does a good hunting crossbow cost? I'm in USA. I'm from Europe. I don't know because I don't shoot crossbows, but I know that they can be as expensive as compounds, and my compound definitely wasn't cheap. So, Matt says, sorry driving. Not a problem. I appreciate listening anyway. Stay safe. That's my uncle. They were just here, and they are driving home to Colorado from Pennsylvania, so they got a heck of a journey ahead of them. Here is my grouping. We got 2 in the dot, 1 up high, 1 right. So, and then we got 1 over the target, but that was my first shot where I was just trying to dial in where we were going. That's the grouping. This one's not good. That one's okay. Those 2 are really good. So, yeah. Let me go retrieve arrows. All right, there we go. You can see that wooden piece out there. That's my backstop for 40 yards with the compound. So, to make sure if I have an errant shot, which I don't do a ton, but every once in a while I don't, you know, have my arrow go off into the abyss where I'll never find it. And then I'll give you a sneak peek here for this. Well, if you graze or wound the deer, you gotta hike and hunt down your kill. Absolutely. No, I mean, I do a lot of days where I come out here and shoot 100 shots with my compound bow. When you get to like shot 90, you start to get a little bit wobbly. So that's why that's there. It's absolutely. That's kind of why I'm doing so much. I am dead accurate. You guys who are frequent flyers on the channel have seen me shoot from 20 and 30 yards. I'm A-okay. I could take a deer right now because I'm not really going to take a shot past 30. But it's always good to work on stuff at 40, 50, 60, 70. That's what we were doing in last live stream. Just get good at that stuff. That's fun. And the better you are at super long ranges, the more dialed in and confident you're going to be up close. So here, I'll show you guys this. This is a sneak peek. We're giving all sorts of sneak peeks today. Over here, I have this little box that I built out of free wood I got from a shipping garage. They were just giving out free wood. This is where I dried out the hide for the squirrel. And that squirrel is what I use to make the silencers on my recurve string that I was just shooting. So, yeah. What do you prefer to shoot, the compound or the recurve? It really varies, because like coming out here in the backyard, not really backyard, my house is over there. This is a little public land preserve area in between two neighborhoods, and nobody comes back here, so I just decided I can come back here and shoot my bow because nobody's here, nobody does anything with it. It's literally just a plot of woods. But yeah, but yeah, coming back out here, I'd probably just rather shoot the recurve, because the furthest distance I'd ever really want to shoot with my recurve is like 30-35 yards, and I have all that space back here. I can really only shoot back to 40. A compound, coming out here, just getting some good reps in. Would you delete your Herbert? Oh yeah, thanks Herbert. Coming out here, getting some good reps in, nothing wrong with that, but like, you know, I really enjoy shooting 40, 50, 60. 60 stuff I've really just stepped into earlier this week, but longer range shots, just practicing there, only occasionally doing shorter shots to dial in, but the fun stuff is shooting long range. So it really depends on where I am. If I could just shoot one, I'd probably shoot the compound because I can do more with that, but the recurve is really fun to just mess around with. Decent crossbow starting at $200 on a good sale, but look to spend $350 realistically. Yeah. All right, go back out to 20 with the good old recurve and take some more shots, see what we can do. Thanks for getting rid of that for me, Herbert. That's why I've got mods. I walk away from the camera and chaos happens. I've learned a lot from what you said. I think recurve look cooler too. Recurves are really cool. They're prettier, for sure. I mean, this is by no means a fancy recurve, but this thing, it's a beautiful bow. And then you can add cool string silencers onto it and everything. It's more picturesque for sure. The arrows typically look cooler as well. All right, a couple more shots at 20, see what we can do. That was low, but you know, made contact with the target. Yeah, and there's stuff that looks way cooler than this. This is an old bow from the late 60s. It was my grandfather's, he gave it to me. But yeah, I mean, recurves are really cool, man. That definitely is a good idea for the silencer. I love them, and they look real cool too. Like, look at you can see it go from brown to black to white. They're really cool looking, and they work really well, and they were free. Something that I could, you know, if I'm going to take an animal, I've talked about this before on live stream. If I'm going to take an animal, hunt it, I want to be responsible with that. I want to appreciate their life. I don't do that lightly. If I'm going to take an animal, I'm going to use as much of it as I can. So being able to use the tails to do something like this is really, really cool. Middled that one, that was good. I'm shooting instinctively today. I've been adapting some things, both with my slingshot technique, actually. I know that seems weird, but my slingshot technique and my recurve technique since getting so into compound, just because compound has a whole bunch of features to try and make things as repeatable as possible. And if I can replicate that same sort of repeatability factors that a compound has on my other things, then I'll just get better. So I've been adapting some of the things I do. And I've been thinking about different ways that I can like slightly tweak my aiming form with the recurve. Those things would be super, super difficult to totally explain. Because like, really, I'm the only person who knows exactly what I was doing before versus now, but I'm tweaking a couple things. So my shots might not be perfect because I'm trying to think about ways to possibly do things differently. People in here saying odd things, like I don't really care, but interesting. I'm taking, what's your name? I'm taking Linda. That was definitely low, and I jerked it a little bit. Hey, Rod. Another awesome member. Here, I'll show Rod, because Rod's seen it. I don't know if you watched it, Rod, but you got the availability, I believe, to watch the sneak peek of the squirrel hunt. silencers for the recurve bow, made out of stuff from that squirrel hunt, made out of that squirrel. I think it's a great usage. Don't want to waste any of that animal. And you got to see the behind the scenes, the early release of the actual hunt. This is what we did with it, one of the things. So, hi again, guy from USA. Hello again, Alexander Nendez. Are you the guy who asked me on Monday that if I was from Norway? I think that's possibly you. We got a fish, dude. That's a good name. Says hi. That was a pretty good shot. How's your day? Yeah, yes. Okay, cool. My day's pretty good. Shooting the recurve bow. Uh-oh, Charlotte's in here doing the Linda thing. I'm taking Charlotte and Linda. Lefty? No, I'm using the selfie camera, so it flips everything around. Just imagine what you'll make when you get a deer next year. I already have tons of cool ideas. I'm so excited. That was not great. I pulled that really far right, so don't mind me. That wasn't even my aiming technique. That was just a poor shot. Relax with Ryan. You're funny. Oh boy. Purely education and entertainment. All right, we're gonna maintain. Oh, Rod already got it. Rod, I was on my way to get it. Thank you. We're maintaining family-friendly conversation and language on this channel. Try throwing one. I have an atlatl. So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, that's like an ancient spear thrower. I made one, have a whole video of me making one and testing one, and I've done it on live stream before. I've got one of those too. Thanks, Rod. Rod's an awesome member. My general consensus is the people who are my members, I haven't had someone come into my membership fold yet who I wouldn't trust with moderator duties. A lot of my members end up being moderators because they're the people who really like and support what I do here, so they kind of vibe with my family-friendly style and just the things I say. So Rod's a member, and it doesn't surprise me that he's a good moderator too. So do it, please. Yeah, watch your mouth, young lady. You guys are so funny today. Don't forget to repurpose the bones too. Yeah. Coincidentally, I found these. This isn't from anything I did. I found these while walking around in the woods. I've got some bones here, sitting down here, that I'm going to make some tools with. Bone tools. You guys are nuts. Alexander, we don't need to like insult people, man. I don't think that's what you're doing, but careful. We don't fight inappropriate flirting with, we don't fight inappropriate flirting with violence or with rudeness. I don't know. Just be nice. What you doing? Chilling in the woods? We were just shooting the recurve bow right here. We're gonna go retrieve my arrows from that yellow target down there, but we had some crazy chat things that we just had to deal with. So yeah, now we're gonna go retrieve arrows. Or I'll leave you guys here. I'll run down there and come back. Like 7, I want her to learn to not online date. Well, this isn't even online dating. This is just pestering someone who's doing a live stream. So, no, leave her alone. It's fine. I don't mind. As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. Indeed. What book's that from? What Bible book that from? I don't remember. I'm thinking, is it Proverbs? It sounds like a Proverbs thing. I think it is Proverbs because I've been reading Proverbs for a couple months now, and I think I read it in Proverbs. So. Alrighty, I have a job for... It is Proverbs, yeah. Alright, that makes sense. What I'm in like Proverbs like 21 right now. I read every morning. That's the first thing I do when I wake up, is I read my Bible. But I'm the type of guy who, which you guys can tell from the stuff I do in the channel, maybe I'm not in Proverbs 21 because I've definitely already read it. Proverbs 27. I don't know, off the top of my head. But what kind of arrows? These are cheap ones that I bought a while ago, and they're not great, but I'll keep shooting them till I decide I want something else. They are Sharo carbon arrows. They're like cheap on Amazon. But yeah, because as you guys can tell from stuff I do on the channel, I love variety, different stuff. My morning readings, I rotate through 3 different books. So I've been in Psalms for a while, Proverbs for a while, and Joshua for a while. And I wake up and just depending on how I feel, I pick one. I did Psalm 116 this morning. So I know I did a Psalm. But yeah, I just pick something depending on how I'm feeling out of those 3 books. We're almost done. I know I'm almost done Proverbs. So we're going to have to add a new one to the fold here soon. And I'm not too far from being done Joshua either. Only shot a bow a few times. That's how I started too. We're trying to get back in the swing of the recurve because I had a couple week stint where I had an issue with my hand and couldn't shoot. Oh boy, Zach. Why is everyone... What happened? How many people we got in here? 22? What happened? What sort of style did I do today that has everyone thinking I'm the greatest person alive? That was not a great shot. I don't know what's going on. Have I read the book of Enoch? No, because that is in the Apocrypha. Is that correct? Controversial on it, but it's definitely worth a read. Bible first, of course, but you got to read some free time. I'd recommend having a read. Yeah, that's kind of how a lot of people in my church view it, because it's in the Apocrypha. I believe that's the technical term for it. I guess I have too much aura. Sure, if that's what you want to call it. Maybe it's the backwards hat. I usually wear my hat like this. Do I look significantly different with my hat forward versus backwards? You never know. Maybe I got to be careful here. I'm a taken man. I can't wear my hat backwards too much if this causes issues, I guess. But yeah. Apocrypha, I believe the reason it was left out is because the manuscript evidence for who wrote it is so wishy-washy that they can't totally tell where it comes from. Where is Lobes? I don't know. There you go. I didn't actually know that. I just remembered being told that it was in the oldest Bibles. Probably right. I think it's good for outside the box thinking. Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with hearing different things and then comparing that to what we know is true in Scripture and kind of thinking about things and having discussions. So, yeah. Tobit is just weird. I don't know what Tobit is, so can't confirm or deny. Look at this, learning scriptures and bows. We love it. Christ's teachings on top. Absolutely. That's what I've been telling people. There's a lot of people come into my live chats and come in and say like stuff about like, oh, repent, turn to Christ, and then just leave. And I'm like, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a Christian myself, but living it out and having it be core fundamental to your life and having people see that is really how we're supposed to speak, how we're supposed to show people that Christ is at the center of our lives and it does make an impact. So I find doing stuff like this where it's just mixed in naturally. I'm not adding this stuff in. It just comes up in conversation. I respond as I would. That's more impactful than just saying things. So just trust me on it. All right. I have no desire to even know what it is. So what's the draw weight on this one? The written draw weight is 40 pounds, but that's at 28 inches and my draw is 27. So it's probably more like 37 pounds, something like that. And then my compound bow that I shoot is 70 pounds. So We might go grab that towards the end of the live and just take a couple shots. As I mentioned, I literally a couple days ago, I just bumped the poundage up on my compound bow from 65 to 70. Just because, why not? Like, 65 is super easy for me. I demonstrated that for you guys in the live. I sat down and did a slow controlled pull on it. Like, 65 is super easy. So might as well max it out at 70. And this target that I'm shooting at is quite old. I've been using it since April. Probably put 10,000 arrows at it. Probably not even exaggerating. I shoot a lot off camera too. I shoot almost every day, even if it's not on a live stream. I just come out here, sling 150 arrows, go back inside. Lots of stuff. I shoot all the time. I put a lot of arrows in this target. It's a cheap target, and it was barely holding at my 65-pound draw with the compound. Like, the arrows would barely stay in. I bumped it up to 70, and suddenly I'm blowing all the way through the target. That 5 pounds apparently just made enough difference to where it's now destroying the target. So I don't really want to shoot a ton at it with the compound, but maybe towards the end of the live we'll put a couple in it. What do you normally hunt? Like deer or... So the only thing I've hunted so far is squirrels. That's how I made these squirrel tail silencers. I made these myself, actually, with a squirrel that I hunted. But we are planning on taking the compound out for deer next hunting season. UK now, getting kind of late, so going to get ready for bed, dropping next live, but I'll put the notification on. Thank you for the lessons and sharing the time to talk. Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. I love meeting new people. It's like every other live. I meet a new person who's committed, likes the channel, is going to come in the future. And that's what it's all about. Like, if I can meet one new person every live I do, that's pretty sweet. One new person who likes the channel, not just a rando. A few fish too. Yes, I do a lot of stuff with fish. I do a lot of fishing, so. Okay, Mr. Turd Lips, that's a heck of a name, and we're going to remove that comment. Myra says, can't hear you. Well, I think everyone else can, so I'm not sure that's my issue. Turn up the volume. Thanks, Herbert. Ozark's Woodsman mentions this a lot, but it is really a challenging thing to do a live where I'm turning around talking to you guys in between each shot and shoot consistently. So I'm not shooting super well today, and I think part of that's just a product of I'm doing the live stream. So my dad shot with his bow. He's gotten a few deer, I think. Awesome. Speak very fast, not easy to understand for non-native speakers. Yeah, absolutely. If you have a question and you're a non-native speaker, let me know and I'll try and answer it slower. That's something I can definitely do, if that helps. So yeah, if you have a question or something you want me to respond to and you can't understand me well, just let me know and I'll help you out. All right. How many pound pull? This bow, this is a 40-pound recurve, but I'm thinking about going to grab my compound, which is 70 pounds, do a couple shots to close out the day as well. Might as well do a little bit of both, but yeah, 40-pound recurve bow. Alrighty, what do we think? We got how many people in here? 37. I think I'm gonna go grab the compound and we can do a couple shots at that. We'll take you across the road, might as well. All right. It might take me a minute to get the bow set up. Whoa. Do I think I could hit a flying bird if I tried? It depends on how big the bird is. Like a duck, if it's flying right in front of me, sure. Like a lark, probably not. Ever shot a crossbow? I have not, actually. I shoot compound and recurve, and I throw shepherd sling, I throw atlatl, I do slingshot, knife throwing, I do a bunch of stuff, but crossbow is one I have not touched yet. All right, back in my house. I look like another YouTuber named Gabe Owners. Yeah, don't think so. That's just a ploy to get me to say something weird, but luckily I put a pause in between those two words. So, moderator, give that person a timeout. Might as well, they're just trying to be funny. All right. Make sure my mom's car is not sitting there. I'm pretty good shot with a crossbow. Sweet. Ta-da! Here's my compound bow sitting on the floor. Right there. So as I mentioned, I did a little bit of arrow, almost Frankensteining, because I don't have glue to put them back together, but if you heat them up, the glue melts and you can swap stuff. And I took a vein off of one that didn't have an insert in it, all sorts of stuff. I got a bunch of arrows for my compound bow, but I only had 5 that were in working condition because I had a couple with broken nocks, a couple with fletchings that were tore. So I did a little bit of Frankensteining yesterday, and now I have 8. So I put together some more arrows, and we're back in business a little bit. So that'll buy me a little bit of time before I have to get new or go somewhere and get them fletched up, all sorts of stuff. Not too shabby with the Nerf gun in the house. Cats are prime targets. Absolutely. Our cats love to chase Nerf bullets, so we'll just shoot them down the hallway and they'll run after them. All right. Front bar. Back bar. Get the release on, grab like 3 or 4 arrows, and then we'll go over there and take a couple shots. It's about to get dark, which is kind of depressing because it's pretty early in the day. That is one of the sad things about winter. It gets dark so early. At their direction. LOL, not directly at them. Yeah, at their direction. Don't want to like take a cat's eye out. That'd be terrible. My dad has a compound. Sweet. All right, what are we thinking? I'm thinking 3 arrows. I think that'd be great. Nice bow. Well, thank you. I put a lot of time and thought into this bow purchase and which accessories I use for it. So I used to be accurate with snowballs. Little brother's my target. I mean witness. Or both. Bars are for what? So imagine if you're walking like on a tightrope and you stick your arms out, and it makes you a little bit easier to balance. That's kind of what this does. Gives it a little bit more resistance to rotation, stabilizes it a little bit. That's kind of what the bars are for. That's the basic dumbed down explanation, but yeah, that's kind of what they do. Oh, we're running low on battery percentage. I'll have to go grab the power bank after a couple shots. So we're at 20 yards. So it's very possible that the arrow could just go completely through the target. So the bow's now at 70 pounds. Those of you guys who saw me shooting on Monday, I said I was going to get the poundage kicked up from 65 to 70. We did that. It is now at 70 and it's shooting a little bit hotter. So, all right, bring the sight deep down, shoot at 20, see what we can do. I'm going to shoot it at the middle because that's where the arrows have been blowing completely through the target, and see how it's going. See if it goes through. That is interesting. So it didn't even hit the middle. I guess that 5 pounds kicked it up. It's dead middle left and right, but it's high. I guess that's something I didn't consider because the whole sight is moved because I adjusted the poundage. I mean, like, that makes sense, and I know that. I just kind of forgot. So let's adjust the sight. All right, I think that moved it up. See what the arrow, where the arrow's at now. Yeah, 70-pound draw on this bad boy. I had a lot of people last live who were like surprised I could draw 70 pounds. I lift a lot. I lifted today. Did some, what did I do? Trap bar deadlifts, leg extensions, leg curls, and goblet squats. Good leg day. I might have moved it a little too far. Let's do one more shot and see if it's actually low or that was just me. No laser? No, no laser. It definitely is hotter on the, like, the arrow speed's a little bit more. What's my battery percentage at? Let's check. Okay. I think I'm gonna bring it one twist down, like one turn down, and we should be in a good spot. Let me try that one more time. I'll be back. Impact sound is satisfying. Cool. It's hard to clean while watching this. Well, I'm glad you're interested. Yeah, we're hitting pretty good now. Nice clean pull through. No punchy shots. Just do a little 3-arrow grouping, see if they're all in the same spots. I'm going to aim at different dots so I don't break my freshly updated arrows that I worked on last night. I've done that before on live stream. Been like, it's okay. I don't typically do this because I might hit my other arrow, but I'll aim at the same spot, and then I immediately broke one. So... So now they're a little high, which I did shift it up a little bit. Let me do one more shot. If that's consistent, then I will shift it back down just a smidge. How far are you? 20 yards. We're just trying to get this sighted in after adjusting the poundage, so. Yeah, they're definitely a little high. Like, that's consistent across all the shots. So. Try that. Just get it somewhat dialed in. But first, I gotta go grab the power bank. Alright, entertain yourself. Everyone behave for like 1 minute. Do you use the round target to correct she's shooting? Huh? We'll talk about it in a minute. I'm gonna go grab the power bank so my phone doesn't die. Alright, I'm back. Got the power bank. Bear with me as I get it set up for a moment. There we go. All right, we're charging, we're good. All right, go grab the arrows. Do it one more time. All right, I moved it a little bit more. Let's see where it is. That one was a tad low, but that could have just been me. Like, it's in the dot, but I'm really focusing hard on the target. So it really should be dead middle of the dot. We're not too far. 20 yards is not a hard shot with the compound for me. I don't know. We'll go look at that. That sounded weird. Have you ever considered spear hunting? No, not yet. Lots of stuff to do. Lots of cool experiences to have. That's not one that I've planned yet, but never say never. I think they're still a little high. Let's go look. See what that weird noise was too. Yeah, here's what I'm talking. Yeah, so they are generally a little bit high still. Here's what I'm talking about. As I said, that 5-pound difference. I now have arrows coming through the back of the target. If I shoot at the middle, they'll actually blow all the way through. All right, let's pull all the arrows out so that we get a clearer picture of what's going on. But like this, all of them are in the dot. This one was low. I think that was me. Both of these are high. Shoot 3 more, figure it out. We'll figure it out here shortly. Shoot an arrow straight up in the air and do a Fortnite dance. No. Not safe. $82 thumbs up. Thank you guys. We're just over an hour being live and we had a lot of viewership today and a lot of likes. If we could get to 100 before the end of the day, that'd be cool. That'd be my record time to get to 100 likes. For sure. Any stream I've gotten 100 likes on, it's been a much longer one. All right. Shoot at the top right dot first. So I don't know what happened there. That was super hot. That one's good. Oh no! Freshly fletched arrow. Man. Hopefully it's down there so I can get it and glue it back on. I did that yesterday. That's what that sound was. It contacted the recurve arrow sitting down there. Really? Really? I recovered the fletch. I got it. It's in my pocket now. So I can glue that back on. That was the one that still had a little, oh, that's the one I didn't glue. It was partially falling off, but I forgot to glue. That makes sense. That's why that fell off. Heat shrink fletching? No, I've not. We can dial this in further in future shooting sessions, but it's not close enough to probably shoot with. Yeah, it's close. Shooting towards the road? No, I'm definitely not. The road is over there. See? There's the road. If you're talking about those up there, there's a road way back yonder, but I have a backstop and it would come down over this hill. There's nothing beyond that hill. There's a road probably half a mile up there. That's probably the lights you're seeing, if you're seeing lights up there. Trust me, I'm not shooting towards the road. I value safety immensely. The road is actually, there's a road over there. See, that was a car. But, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go drop this out at 40. We'll shoot two or three at 40. See what we can do, 40 yards. Yeah, there's a road out there. But, all right, you can see my backstop there. That's 40. We're gonna go put the target there and shoot a couple. Safety first, absolutely. Hence why I'm not actually shooting at a road. My uncle and I, who I think is still watching, we drove by a house the other day who had a target, and the backstop was eerily close to the road. It wasn't at the road, but it was close enough to where it's like, you probably shouldn't shoot that direction. All right, we're back. Shoot a couple at 40 yards. See what we can do. Fresh bow poundage adjustment. We'll see if it's gonna sit in the place I think it's gonna sit. I hit the target. I think it's a little high, but I'm not sure. What's up in this live? We are doing archery. I think they're both high. We'll go look. I think they're high and right. So I think they're both kind of in the same place. So adjustments possibly needed, but we'll see. Adjusting your whole sight housing based on your 20-yard pin isn't the most accurate thing ever. But yeah. Well, both high and right. Two very consistent shots between the two of them. So that gives us a very good idea of where things actually are. Let me take you guys off. The second one never hit. Well, it did, because there's an arrow on the target. They both hit there. I was aiming at the dead middle. So they are both high and right. Which I got a new rest and adjusted my poundage. So things are possibly a little bit off. 40 yards, There they are, both right there. Second one definitely did hit. Yeah, it would be a dead deer, but I was aiming at the middle, and they're both consistently high right, which is kind of where it looked like they were going. I broke in the middle. Definitely on the second one, I broke really good. So that's kind of where they are. That's things we can adjust for, but that's not a project for today. That's something I'll do later. But pull those out. Yeah, this target's definitely getting, like, it was never hard to pull things out, but it's getting easy to pull stuff out of. It's getting old. We might as well order a new target. Here, been shooting that one since April. So my archery journey, that'll be 2 targets down. I've used 2 targets in my career. I had a super simple, super cheap straw one that I used for the recurve back when I only shot recurve. Then I got that one, and I've been rolling with that one ever since I got it. That's the second target I've ever owned. All right, we'll do 2 more shots at 40. If that's consistent, then they're high right, then we will call that, a data point, a confirmed data point that we can go off of and make adjustments from. I held that one a little low, like it broke while it was just a smidge low, so that one might be a little bit lower. I'm giving my hypothesis now, so we can go down there and log it against what I think is going to happen. It's just good data to have. We'll see. Go down there, find some more data points. That's what we're doing here. We're getting data points. It's getting a little bit dim, and it's a 40-yard shot. I can't see a darn thing as far as where those went. So I brought them a little bit further back towards the middle. I paid more attention to my sight bubble here, so they might not be right, but they're both high for sure. So yeah, here you go. The one that I said broke low, that one's barely sneaking into the top of the dot. And then the other one that broke middle is exactly height-wise the same as our first shot. We'll show you here. Let me flip this over. There you go. So here's what we're looking like. One shot, barely sneaking in. That's the one that I said I broke low. And then the one that, whoops, sorry about that. The one that's dead middle with that other dot, which is where we were hitting on the other one, is high. So it is shooting a smidget high, but brand new poundage adjustment. So we're trying to dial in the sight from that. We'll do 2 more. I'm gonna adjust it to see if I can drop that down in the zone, see if we can put 2 in the dot and call it a day. Oh, there you go. Show me your bow. I will. We're going back here. Gonna take 2 more shots and call it a day. It's getting dim, so hopefully I don't like miss and have to go find an arrow in the dark or something. You never know. I shouldn't, but we'll see. My crossbow is sighted in. I'm okay at 40 yards, probably 4-inch spread, which sucks, but it would kill deer. No, that doesn't stink. I mean, that's kind of where I am from 40. I'm probably a little bit tighter than that, probably 2.5 to 3-inch spread. But hey, man, that would certainly do the job on a deer, and if that's what you're looking for, then that's good. 40 yards is not a joke shot. Like, you know, a lot of people can shoot 40 yards, but that doesn't make it easy. So not bad at all. Yeah, I'm probably a little bit tighter than that, but hey, it's all good. Okay, here's my bow for whoever was asking. Got a Hamsky drop away rest on there, shooting Easton 6.5s, Trophy Ridge Trilogy sight. We got the Cobra Moment Release red line bars on there, all sorts of fun stuff, and it is the Elite Terrain. All right, let's see. I forgot to adjust the sight, so All right, little baby adjustment. See if that drops us into the dot from 40 yards. Yeah, crossbow's a little bit easier than compound for sure. But yeah, 4-inch spread, not terrible for sure. All right, here we go. See if that drops us into the dot from 40 yards. I can barely see the target because it's getting dim, but let's see. 70-pound bow. Let's see what we can do. I was slightly punchy on that shot, but not enough to where it should matter a whole bunch. If you're focusing on not being punchy and you mess up a little bit, then you're still better than if not worrying about being punchy, because you're just inherently you want to be punchy. I used to shoot when I was younger, shot recurve mostly, which I've got over here. That's what we did for the first 80% of the live. Got a compound, want to get back into it, but it did get expensive. But yeah, you can get used stuff that's pretty good nowadays. Like a rifle that's legal in bow season. Not too confident in it, but I could probably get a deer with it. Yeah, no, it's definitely easier than compound bow, but hey, a lot of people frown on it. I don't. Like, use what you want to use. If that's how you make an ethical shot, then make an ethical shot that way. Okay, so that sounded like I hit dead middle. We'll go look at it. Because as I said, the middle is where I always aim for recurve, because I'm not as good, so the margin of error helps me a little bit if I just aim at middle. So the middle is more worn out than any other dot, and it makes a different sound when I hit it. That sounded like I hit dead middle on the second shot. I'm only 20 yards away and I still can't see where I hit, so. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, that adjustment did it. We are in the stinking money from 40. Here you go. Close out the day with a real good grouping from 40. Good adjustment. We are in the zone now. What we're going to do, DNR is on the way. They're pissed. I don't think so. There's the group from 40. Right there, both in the dot. Pretty much dead middle. One's a little bit high, but we're good. You can see my arrow off the side here peeking in. That's why that backstop exists. That's from like 2 weeks ago. Still haven't pulled that arrow out. But that was at the end of a like 2-hour shooting session, so don't mess with me about that. Worry about this, not about this. That. There you go. But yeah, real good group. Herbert says gotta run. Hope you still have some mods. Thanks, Herbert. You did a lot of work protecting the sanctity of the chat today, so thank you, and thanks for watching as always. But yeah, that's a really good adjustment. I'm gonna bring it back to 20 because I adjusted the whole. Nice shooting, man. I'm out of here, but I'm glad I watched. Well, thank you. I'm gonna grab those arrows, run back to 20 because I adjusted the whole sight housing because the whole bow got moved up 5 pounds, so maybe it affects everything, and see if I'm still hitting good from 20. If I am, then I'm gonna leave the sight housing there. So, all right, bring the target back, hit 2 from 20, and then call it a day. We're gonna end the live after that. Ugh. All righty. Suddenly I developed an accent. Don't know how that happened. All right, hold on here a moment. Poor camera angles, but I'll be with you in a moment. All right, yeah, let's shoot 2 from 20. And when's fishing start back up for you? Hey man, it is cold. We had snow yesterday. I actually didn't have any classes at college because of snow. As soon as I get a chance to do some serious fishing at something that'll bite in the winter, I will. Or when we get ice, because I'm gonna go back out ice fishing this year. But for a while, we're possibly gonna be in this little period where open water fishing either isn't good or isn't possible because you got a thin layer of ice, but it's not thick enough to go ice fishing on. I hate that period. It's like an interim period. I don't like it, but that's possibly where we're gonna be for a little bit. All right. Hooked on Reel Baits, if you could give that guy like a 5 or 10 minute timeout, that would be highly appreciated. Because I know you're a mod, and I know I got you in here right now, so that would be great if you could do that. But yeah, no, I'll be fishing anytime I get a good chance. I got 2 weeks left of the semester. I'm probably going to close out the semester, just focus on that. Over winter break, if I get a good chance to ice fish or open water fish or anything, I definitely will, and I'll take you guys with me. But yeah, close out the semester, 2 weeks left, and then get back to that. Thank you. All right, can barely see the target. It's getting dim. Put 2 down there from 20, see if it's still in the dot. If it is, then we made a good adjustment to our sight housing, and we'll call it that. Can't wait to ice fish this year. Yeah, I'm excited. I got a new ice rod to try out too. I only had 1 ice rod and a bunch of tip-ups last year. I now got 2 ice rods and a bunch of tip-ups. Hey, Gina's back. She's been in here before. I believe you're a she. Let me know. So that one broke low. So if it's in a good spot, it should be low by like ½ inch. See if we can get one to break in the middle. We'll aim at the same dot. Because if I make a good shot, I shouldn't be in danger of hitting the arrow because I broke it down a little bit. So. All right, I think we're good. Like, I can barely see them from here, but they're both at least super close. Minor adjustments only, but I think we're good because that one broke low, so we should have one a smidge low and should have one kind of right in the money. And it looks like that's what we've got. A little bit right, but yeah, that's exactly what we got. We got one a little bit low, and we've got one right in the money. Let me show you. Bear with my bad camera work for 2 seconds. Right there, one in the money, one a little bit low. Exactly what I predicted. So we're in the zone with the sight now. After adjusting the poundage on the bow, we are good. I'm going to close down the live here and then clean up the stuff. Would you guys be interested in staying and chatting, even though it might be dark? Just me walking around with my flashlight, or should I close it down now? Let me know. We're five thumbs up away from 100, so maybe we'll stay put until we get there. Gia says, be right back, no problem. Yeah, see, you can barely see me now. I've got my flashlight. I think my flashlight might be almost dead. Nope, we're good. It's at like 60%. Also really hoping oh, you were talking about ice rods, hold on. Don't have any dedicated ice rods, but I have 2 short ultralights. Think I'm gonna get a dock runner to dedicate an ice rod. Yeah, especially if you put one of those little spring tips on there. They're like $6 on Amazon. It doesn't have to be a super sensitive rod. You put that spring tip on there, you're golden, man. I love those spring tips. Also really hoping I can save enough for a cheap 16-foot boat with an outboard over the holiday, as I'm kind of planning on going to a bass tourney in April. That's awesome. Yeah, man, I got a kayak. I absolutely love my kayak, my folding one, and I got a couple up at our lake house that I use. But a boat would be something really awesome one day. Assuming my engineering career goes well, I should eventually have enough money to do that in the long run. But you know, I'm planning on, the idea is to get married fairly young because I'm a Christian, just like Hooked on Real Baits and many others in here. So I'm not going to get too deep into that, but it makes sense to get married young because I have a girlfriend who I love very, very much. And because of my values, I'm not moving in with her until I'm married. So probably going to get married younger, and finances might be a little bit tight in the early years. So probably won't have a boat for a while, but maybe one day. Long run, boat would be cool. See, there's the road. It's next to us. What's his name? I don't know who you're talking about. Me? My name is Nolan, if that's who you're asking about. Otherwise, I don't know who you're talking about. Kayak would be Street. Oh, what's her name? Her name is Victoria. She's been on a live stream or two just because I was with her and I was doing something. She's been in the background a couple videos. I'm working on a video for possibly next summer. I have all the footage. It's just not like at the forefront of my mind of when I'm going to try and get published. But eventually you'll have a video where she's like a main character because she does a lot of pottery. So we process some natural clay down to actual pottery material, not primitive pottery, which is what I've done, but we processed it to actually be like good pottery clay, and she made some stuff and then we fired it. That was a really cool experience. So she'll be a main character in that one whenever I get it done. See if you can see the target with my light. There it is. It looks so eerie now that it's dark. 2 more likes, and then we've got our 100 likes for the day. Yeah, I'm not a big challenge guy unless it's like something new. Like, that's just not my style. But also, like, I also have the general opinion of I don't exclude people from my videos. But there's a lot of weird people out there, and there's a lot of people who just use people to get clicks and all this stuff, or use people in titles. So unless someone's like, you know, inherently part of the video, I don't put them in it. A lot of my parents really have never been in many videos because they're not out there with me doing stuff. People only end up being in my videos if they're a part of the action. So I don't really just randomly include her. I include her when she's part of the process, like this pottery thing. I don't know how to use a pottery wheel. She does, so she used the clay that we processed for the video, not me. So she will be in that one for that reason. All right, it's dark. We got arrows down there in the target. Go grab that, and then we got the recurve here. All sorts of stuff. Got to get that back to the house. All right, let me go grab the stuff downrange. Put on my hat. We can flip my hat back around. There we go. Okay. Oh no. One of my feathers I found while hunting fell out of my pocket. We need that guy. That's a cool one. I wanted to keep it for fly tying. Yeah, I get that. I only have me in my videos, but I plan on do some videos with other people at some point. Yeah, I do a lot of collaborations. My uncle's in a lot because we go on a lot of adventures together. But like, if you're not part of I don't have a problem including people. I'm not trying to hide other people, but if you're not part of the action, I just don't find it necessary to introduce another variable to the equation. And with the target, I'm a little late to saying this, but mine's getting so worn that it buries bolts to or past the fletching at 40. Yeah, I mean, occasionally I'll have one, if it hits the right spot, completely end up through the target. That's part of the reason why I have that backstop there too. So lots of stuff. It's completely dark. You guys cannot see me, but we are gonna make sure I have all my things. We are gonna walk across the street with some of the things I've got. We're gonna take the recurve bow, and then we will come back for the other things, depending on whether my mom is in the garage or not, because she gets home about this time. We will pack up from what we did today. We'll pack up on live stream, but if she's in there, I'll probably just drop the stuff at the garage door and call it a day with you guys. 100 likes, sweet. I can see your silhouette. We good. Here, real baits. I don't know if I showed you this yet, but I will have to show you. I'll have to show you something when we get close. Okay, so the garage door's closed, which means my mom's definitely home because it was open. All right, let me pull up my light and show you this before I close down the live. So these, let's use a lower light setting so it doesn't completely blow out the camera. These are squirrel tail string silencers that I made from the squirrel I got on the squirrel hunt I went on earlier this month. I think it's pretty cool. Just a really cool way to use them. I'm very proud of them. They look cool. They work really well. So I've been showing people all throughout this live. Thought you'd find it cool because someone does a little hunting as well. But yeah, we are gonna close down the live here, guys. You can barely see me. I got a couple things to get done before I head inside. And as I said, I got 2 weeks left of the semester. Got a couple things assignments I got to wrap up tonight, tomorrow, all that. A couple things to do over the weekend, but we're wrapping it up, and then over winter break, I'll do a lot of lives, a lot of video content out for you guys. I've been slowly chipping away at a long form video for you guys for a while now, probably a month and a half. I've been working on it. We're getting super close to putting it out. It might be out like next week, but I'm not making any promises. Yeah, we're gonna give it a shot, see if we can get it out. It's gonna be a really, really cool one. I'm super, super excited. Possibly as excited as I've been for a video since I did the Atlatl video. Like, super hyped for it. Yeah, we're gonna close it out now. Do you use a pellet gun or what for squirrels? No, I used a 22. That video will be out at some point in time. I might work on it over winter break and just do that. So yeah, lots of videos to work on. We're gonna get there. But yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Another pop-up live. Gamo varmint. There you go. Adios, says Matt. All right, we are heading out. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys on the next one. Possibly when there's a little bit more light out. All right, see you guys. Thanks for coming in. Great live today.